Welcome to this new video with Mouse. I do have a Tropics update on Beryl, where it's heading to next, and if the remnants of Beryl could impact our area, plus those temperature trends, so watch this video all the way to the end. Let's start by talking about where it's heading to next, then we'll talk about how the remnants could impact our areas. Again, parts of the coast of Texas on this Sunday, July 7th, could be dealing with some storm surge, especially the Galveston Bay area, but even when this gets on land and weakens, that flooding threat doesn't really diminish. And notice how parts of the middle to upper Texas coast and eastern Texas could be dealing with that even through Monday night. And as this gets on land, I know you can see that small image of the cone of uncertainty covering parts of Missouri and Illinois. That is really going to be a huge question. Could the remnants of Beryl impact our area? It's a huge time frame that I do have right now, and it's between late Tuesday and through early Wednesday. That timing could change a bit, so that's why I'll probably say right now Tuesday through early Wednesday, because in between there are really questions regarding where the exact heaviest access of rain sets up. Could it just miss us down to the south? Could it impact our area? That's the big question that I know a lot of people want answered. And this graphic that comes from our wonderful friends at the National Weather Service breaks it down as, yes, we are watching for Beryl as we head towards Tuesday through Thursday night. And one thing we do want, especially with the recently heavy rainfall that we've gotten, is for this to take the southern track. But if it takes the northern track, that means problems. If it takes the southern track, though, let's talk about that first. Then heavier rain would be possible for parts of southeastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois. That would be good for the St. Louis area. But if it takes a northerly track, then that could bring heavier rain into our area, and with the Mississippi and Missouri River gauges right now, that could definitely cause some problems, especially the Mississippi River, especially with where the track is set. But that's if it takes a northerly track. And let's first talk about what we're seeing right now with the forecast models. And yeah, right now it does look like it's trending more north, and that would put the heavier rainfall into our area. But again, the exact track will or may change. If it shifts down to the south, then parts of southeastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois could be seeing more impacts, which would be good for the St. Louis area. So do not freak out yet, but note that if it continues to trend north, then it could possibly impact our area. I just wanted to let you know that. So definitely when it comes to tropical systems, one of the bigger things when it gets on land is exactly where that heavier rain is going to set up. Tomorrow when I look at forecast models, maybe the heaviest rain has shifted down south and southeast of St. Louis, or maybe it's pushed a little bit further to the northwest. So don't just take this as gospel, or don't take this as, oh my gosh, this is literally going to happen, because we're going to get changes with the forecast, or at least hopefully we get changes with the forecast, because we've gotten a lot of heavy rain this early in July. Definitely we were hoping for rain in June, and then we got it all at once in July. So that's the reason why, especially with the Mississippi River gauges and Missouri River gauges rising a little bit, that we don't want it to take this northerly track. But if it does take this northerly track, we will have to monitor really closely. So let's hope it trends down to the south, and I'm going to have the latest information on this on my Twitter page or X with outdoor weather reports, retweets from the National Weather Service, because of course they're the experts, and of course we'll be able to fine-tune exactly where the heaviest rain does set up. Again, it's taking the northerly track, which we don't want, but again, if it takes that southerly track, then that could put the heaviest rain down in parts of southeastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois. So again, remember that there are two possible scenarios. So I'm not saying St. Louis is going to get heavier rain, because if it shifts down to the south, then we could actually be good. But definitely the Mississippi River still goes down to the south, so that could still lead to some problems when it comes to the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, because I know some people have even had to cancel some of their firework plans because of how the Mississippi River has been rising over the last couple of days. So let's just hope for the best with this, and I will have the latest on my Twitter page. I know you probably want to talk about something else now. Let's talk about those temperature trends. And this comes from our Climate Prediction Center. This was released on July 7th. This goes through the 13th and, of course, through the 17th. And our normal high for this time of the year now has went up to 90 degrees. And note, we've already had so many 90-degree days and a lot of days where we're well over that 90-degree mark. So we can just tell you how we've gotten so much heat so early in the season. And like I said in my last video, or a couple videos ago, it isn't just us. And of course, you can see even with this map, above normal temperatures could be persisting into this period, which means we could have some days where those temperatures are even above that 90-degree mark. But again, we could always get some changes, but those are your temperature trends where in between this period, wherever you may be going, if it's Missouri, or maybe you're hopping down to Tennessee, or maybe you're going to the Northeast, right now, we could always have days where those high temperatures are a little bit over that 90-degree mark. And our normal high still, through the latter part of July, is still 90 degrees. So even though confidence has dropped just a little bit when it comes to those probability levels, it still looks like we're leaning or just a little bit above average for this time of the year, especially parts of the southeast and parts of Alabama, Georgia, etc. So this basically means also with temperature trends that we could always have days that are slightly higher than our normal high of 90 degrees, which means maybe a couple more swimming pool days maybe possibly could be needed to be added to that list. So definitely that is something that we're going to be monitoring. But in general, I think the tropics is definitely going to be the main concern. Again, if I was talking too fast, I know the cone of uncertainty is definitely something that we don't like to talk about. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, we definitely have to keep an eye on it very closely. But again, it could possibly impact our area Tuesday into early Wednesday, but plenty of uncertainty regarding the exact track and the exact timing. That could always change pretty significantly. And note that it's very difficult to make these forecasts, even with the Hurricane Prediction Center. So just note that we will get some changes regarding the exact track. We could also get some changes regarding the exact timing. So this video is not meant to alarm anyone. But once again, just in case it didn't make any sense, we're monitoring Beryl, and that track does take that cone of uncertainty in through our area for parts of Missouri and Illinois, and we want it to take that southern track. If it takes that southern track, then the heaviest rain is confined to southeastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois. If it takes more of that northern track, which because of our Missouri rivers and Mississippi rivers rising a little bit, which is not what we want, then it could definitely cause some flash flooding. And again, this is just a few days away because it's July 7th. We're looking at Tuesday. Possibly this is delayed even later, or maybe it comes slightly sooner, but I doubt that's going to happen. So definitely that means that we're going to have to monitor this very closely. And again, that timing and the placement could change very quickly. That's the reason why you want to make sure you're following me on my Twitter page for the latest updates. But until then, I'll have an outdoor weather report on my Twitter page to break it down, and that video will definitely be a bit more shorter than this one. But until then, hopefully this made sense. Rewatch the video if you do need to, but we are monitoring the remnants is a Beryl that could possibly impact us over the next couple of days. Not a guarantee that we get heavy rain. We definitely want it to take that southern track, but if it for some reason to continue to trend and to continue to take that northerly track, then we may have to monitor it in our area very closely. But until then, I have the latest on my Twitter page. Don't freak out. And of course, share this video to someone that might need it. But until then, I hope you have a great start to your week. Follow me on Twitter. The link will be down in the description, or X, for the latest weather updates regarding Beryl and the rest of your forecast, even moving forward. Until then, I hope you have a great start to your week.